Objectives: identify the different forms of social and political organization. Evaluate the political leadership that characterize each organization. Analyze issues related to authority, legitimacy, and power. Political and leadership structures. Human beings are considered as a social animals. Being such, they have naturally tendency to join groups. Individuals have different interests, needs, and talents. The tendency towards conflict is as natural as the tendency to join social groups. There is a need to establish a political system where power structures are defined to ensure that conflicts are managed. It is in this regard that it is important to understand how individuals have organized themselves into social and political groups of communities. We will explore these different ways from a simple to complex system of organizing political communities. Political organization. A. Bands. B. Tribes. C. Chiefdoms. D. Nations. E. States. F. Empires. Authority and legitimacy. A. Authority versus legitimacy. B. Types of legitimacy, authority. 1. Traditional. 2. Charismatic. 3. Rational. What is political organization? Political organizations are systematic mediators between the society and the political process by William Winson, 1991. Most of them, including the parties, are non-profit organizations. As agency of the civil society, their role in relation to members, leaders, and mission is in flux. They face challenges that redefine the idea of political organization. State interests prove more self-referential than initially thought. Professionalization fuses governing with campaigning. An organization that involves itself in the political process, including political parties, non-government organizations, advocacy groups, and special interest groups. Political parties in the Philippines is a part of political organization. So one of the political parties in the Philippines are Liberal Party, Lakas Kampi, Nationalista Party, National People's Coalition, Pwersa ng Masang Pilipinas. Example of political organization in Great Britain Act in the year 1977. So this is the photo of the Constitutional Act in 791. The King, the Parliament, the Governor General, so the Upper Canada and Lower Canada. So we have Lieutenant Governor, Executive Council, Legislative Council, Legislative Assembly, and Population. While the Lower Canada, Representative of the Governor, Executive Council, Legislative Council, Legislative Assembly, and Population. Bands. Bands is typically formed by several families living together based on marriage ties, common descendants, friendship affiliation, and members usually have a common interest or enemy. a unit of social organization, especially among hunter-gatherers, consisting of usually small numbers of families living together cooperatively. So this picture represents as the bands for the singers. We have the Queen, Sex Pistols, Rem, Pantera, U2, Oasis, Green Day, The Runaways, Bon Jovi, Simple Plan, and others. Bands. Bands have found primarily among foragers, especially sufficient pedestrian foragers. The total number of people within this society rarely exceed a few dozen. Bands are essentially associations of families living together. They are loosely allied by marriage, descent, friendship, and common interests. The primary integrating mechanism for this society is kinship. Bands extremely egalitarian. All families are essentially equal. There is no economic class differentiation. However, there are often clear status differences based on gender and age. This picture represents as a band of tribes. So in other words, this is also a part of political organization. It is very important one of the methods of social groups. Tribes. It is considered the simplest political system, even its more integration is no longer simply by informal forms of leadership presiding to settle conflicts to prevent the society from breaking apart. Tribes are often headed by a village headman, even though such a role does not have an absolute power. A village headman derives his authority from having a senior position, coupled with an ability to force others to obey him. So this is an example of textile tribes in the Philippines. Tivoli. So example of tribes in Indonesia. Chiefdom. Chiefdom formalized leadership function, unrelated to personal qualities, rules of succession, means primogeniture, office is permanent, outlast the individuals who occupy them, royalty, status, coercion but not too much. Zulu chief is one of the examples of chiefdoms. What is chiefdom? Chiefdom is defined as a political organization. A formal leadership type exists and authority rests solely on the members of a select family. It is composed of a number of communities that is ruled by a permanent paramount chief coming from this elite family. Example of chiefdom in Africa. A Kepler chief in West Africa listened to dispute in his district. Settling dispute is one of the traditional tasks to call chiefs among Kepler's people. What is nation? Nation is a stable community of people formed on the basis of common language, territory, history, ethnicity, or a common culture. A nation is more overtly political than an ethnic group. It has been described as a fully mobilized or institutionalized ethnic group. Example of different nation. It means to say the different flags all over the world. So different flags defined as different countries all over the world. So we have the Europe, we have the Asia, we have the North America, South America, and even also in other countries. State. The power or authority represented by a body of people politically organized under one government, especially an independent government within a territory or territories having a definite boundaries. So this is one of the examples in United States of America. So you can see that they have different states. You have the Kansas, Texas, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, Montana, Oregon, Hawaii, and many others. Empire. This picture represents the Roman Empire in a political map. So what is an empire? Empire is a political construct in which one state dominates over another state, or a series of states. At its heart, an empire is ruled by an emperor. Even though many states in history without an emperor, at their head are called empires. At its core, an empire is the domination by one state by another. Example of Roman Empire. This is one of the examples of Roman Empire during the time of Jesus Christ. Authority and legitimacy. Authority and legitimacy are inseparable twins. There cannot be authority without legitimacy. Example, recognition on the part of the people upon whom the authority is exercised. The people recognize that the power being used, decision, or commands being enforced by the authority holder is just and beneficial for them. Legitimacy transfers power into authority. Legitimacy without authority only remains a wishful thinking. It only exists as the idea of rightfulness and justness, or a moral or rational principle. It is only when it gets combined with authority that it leads to decision, commands, and action, which are held to be rightful and just decision capable of securing the welfare and development of those upon whom these are implemented and enforced. One of the characteristics of a leadership to find out the power, authority, and legitimacy. So what will be the relation of power, authority, and legitimacy? So this picture represents the characteristic of a leader. A leader should have an authority. So it depends on his power. And the power will be towards on his obligation. And there will be an acceptance of legitimacy. So this will be recognized by his character. So this is one of the circle part of his leadership. Types of legitimate authority. Charismatic authority is based on the personal appeal of an individual leader, while traditional authority is based on appeals to the past or long-established way of doing things. And legal rational authority is based on the legal impersonal rules that have been routinized and rationalized. So this picture represents different leaders all over the world. We have charismatic, traditional authority, and legal rational authority. Example of best charismatic is Barack Obama. We have John F. Kennedy, we have Hitler, we have Mother Teresa, have also a charismatic. The others have legal rational authority based on legal impersonal rules that have been routinized and rationalized. So one of the most characteristic that is the leader from the United Nations or the leader from the Soviet Union.